Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of The Soulful Self. My name is Hannah, I'm your host, and today we are diving into the sixth chakra. If you have been following along on my chakra series, this is the third eye chakra. So now it's time for us to dive into all things third eye. In this chakra, we are really getting into the woo woo, and it just so happens that this is one of my favorite chakras. I love all that this chakra represents, and to me, it's a part of my life and my practice that I wish to continue to deepen and grow as much as I humanly possible as I grow in my journey. When I think of the third eye, I think of imagination, but to me, it's even deeper than that. This chakra is there to help us see clearly, and it's called the third eye, but I've heard in some cultures that they refer to it as the first eye, which I think is pretty cool and pretty significant. Because when you develop a deep intuitive relationship with this chakra, with this energy, it can help you to see. And I don't mean physically with your eyeballs, although it does govern the eyes, but I mean see things energetically. So, this chakra is essentially our intuition. It is our God given right as a human, it is our sixth sense, and it helps us to see beyond illusion. It can help us when people in our lives are not being honest with us. It can help you see through acts that people may be putting on. It can help you be more aware of all the sudden changes in energy and emotion or shifts in a room. Essentially, it's being in tune with all the energy around you, the energy within your own body, in your own aura, but also the energy within the atmosphere or other people and their auras. And energy doesn't lie. Energy can't lie. You can't pretend, it can't pretend to be something that it's not. So, having this, developing this relationship with your intuition, with your sixth sense, and being able to sense even the tiniest change in frequency gives you almost a superpower, and it is so cool. It can help you to be more open and aware of all the things beyond the physical world, your connection to your angels and guides, maybe creatures like fairies or dragons or anything like that that you feel really drawn to. It's our connection to the magic that exists all around us, and we are able to see and play with that magic when we have this deep connection and relationship with our third eye. So I want you to think about when you were a child and you were deep in the state of play. Your imagination was running wild. There was a part of you that believed in magic, whether it was Santa or fairies or dragons or all of these things that adulthood strips away from us. Young kids do not have an ego, and they don't live their life looking through this filtered lens like adults do, because when we experience trauma and we're taught all these things from our childhood to our adulthood, that takes away this magic from our life, that takes away this connection. And we're taught there's only five senses. We're not taught about our intuition, about being able to feel and sense energy. And you're told at a certain age that Santa's not real, and we're told at a certain age that all these things are make believe. And to some degree, yeah, maybe, but also no. And I'm not saying that I believe that there's a man that flies around delivering presents on Christmas, but I do believe in the magic of Christmas and the spirit of Christmas and the magic of everything. I believe we have fairies and dragons and mermaids and all those things. Can you see them in this? Can most people see them in this realm of existence? No, we are in way too low of a vibration to be in the same frequency of magical creatures. However, they do exist. If you were to focus on and work on that and like want to cultivate a relationship with those things, it's not impossible. It's like just being able to live in a higher frequency. But no, the average person will never see that in their life because they're not vibrating at the same frequency as these magical beings. When we are adults, we're conditioned to be a certain way, and the magic of life is so stripped away from us. Life goes from being play and wonder and imagination and magic to work and stress, and it becomes very go, go, go. We get pushed out of our connection from our body and energy, and we've become so detached from that part of us. And it's the part of us that knows deep down that there is more, that we are intuitive beings, that we are energetic beings, that we can read things and not reading things on a piece of paper, but reading the energy of a room, of a person, of a situation. And it is like how to next level up your life, honestly, if you can create this, open this energetic pathway in your body. If we don't continue to practice and connect and grow and strengthen our intuition, then we start to lose that connection, that magic that makes life so special. And it is a muscle. It is literally our pineal gland, and the more that we use it, the stronger that it becomes. And when you are focusing on your third eye and you do practices to practice your intuition to strengthen these senses, you can literally feel that muscle working in your it is exactly where if you had a third eye in the middle of your forehead, that's your third eye. Kids, they're so open and they don't have all these experiences that rob them of imagination and faith in there being so much magic around them. They're born with an open third eye. And if we learn to always stay in tune with our intuition, imagination, and all that, it just becomes second nature and it's just a part of life. But if not, and all of that is stripped away, then we have to relearn how to tap into that as adults. But we all have this ability, and it's a gift that's given to each and every one of us. It is not something special that only a certain few people was given. We all have this ability. We all are able to grow and develop this ability. Maybe some people are born with it more naturally than others, but if you can walk, if you can breathe, if you have a beating heart, you have intuition and you can strengthen it and use it to your advantage. So the name for the third eye chakra is Ajna, and the name is derived from the Sanskrit meaning to perceive, to command, or to know. This chakra's translation is telling us that our third eye is here to help know. Our third eye is here to help us know more than meets the physical eyes. It helps us to perceive all energy clearly and reflects the chakra's role as being the center of perception, intuition, and inner guidance. The phase for the throat chakra is IC, and the mantra is Om. The color that represents the throat chakra is indigo. The third eye chakra is located in the middle of our forehead, literally where you would have a third eyeball if you had one. And physically in our body, the third chakra rules over our brain, forehead, eyes, sinuses, pineal gland, pituitary gland, our nervous system, and our sleep and circadian rhythm cycles as well. Whereas energetically, the third eye rules over our inner world, meaning our ability to see beyond the physical, our intuition, so inner knowing, gut feelings, clarity, imagination, and visualization, inner guidance, discernment, insight, spiritual awareness, perception, and dreams. Having vivid dreams, messages, symbolic insights is a very big part of our third eye. And our third eye is the energy center where the intuitive body communicates through science, sensations, symbols, and visions as well. So we know that the third eye chakra is connected to our imagination, intuition, wisdom, and higher consciousness. So we're going to dive deep into some of these core themes of this chakra now. Intuition and inner wisdom. I once heard this quote and it has stuck with me ever since. I don't know if it's from the Bible or some philosopher, but they say that God hid himself in the one place that man would never think to look, inside himself. And this is so significant because our connection to God, universe, the divine, our creator, whatever you want to call it, comes from within us. And sure, there are other people that can be guides and teachers and teach wisdom. However, how you gain that wisdom and how you connect to the truth, your truth, is through going within, and that is our connection to God. So think about how when you create something, there's always a little part of you inside of whatever it is that you want to create. Whether it's like physically you're creating a life, a child, or in your art, music, dancing, a program that you're creating, a podcast, your work, whatever it is that you are creating in this life, it's like there's a little part of your soul in this creation that you are sharing with the world. Well, that's exactly what our creator did. There's a little tiny piece of creator inside each and every one of us. And when we're following our intuition, connecting to that inner sense, that inner knowing, that is how we connect and honor to this. And I believe that we all come here for a reason, to learn certain lessons, to walk a certain path. Our intuition is there as a compass to help guide us down this path. So, if we can do what we were destined to do, what we signed up to come here for, it's how we get to live that life that's so full of magic. And when you deny this part of yourself, you're losing that greater connection to God, to the bigger plan. So, not only are you doing yourself a disservice by probably creating a lot more struggle and a lot of roadblocks in your way, and you might be feeling a lot of negative, low vibrating emotions, you're also doing the whole world a disservice, because there is people that you are meant to help when you walk your path you're meant to walk. There is lives you're meant to touch. There are things and opportunities and places and experiences that are meant to fall in your way. And when you're not walking down that path, that can't happen. And we're all part of this big, beautiful cosmic woven web that is so bigger and so more intricate than our human brain can even comprehend. And you think that you making this decision to not believe in yourself, to not follow your dreams, to play it small, all these little things that slowly and slowly makes you depressed and disconnected and have all these issues. It's your body and the universe screaming at you to do something differently, screaming at you to pay attention so that you can do whatever it is that you came here to do and make the impact you're here to make, touch all the lives you're meant to touch. Maybe you're meant to invent something, create something, write a book, whatever it is that can be so influential and help so many people and be a part of whatever is meant to happen. So not only are you causing yourself pain and suffering, but you're doing a disservice to the whole world. So really, it's like, if you're not doing it, you're kind of an asshole. So start doing what you feel called to do. We all have intuition, and it can show up in different ways for each of us. The different ways that it can show up is called the clairs, which are essentially our senses, but in intuition terms. So there are 6 primary intuitive pathways. The first one is clairvoyance or clairseeing. This is intuitive information that comes through images. So if this is the way that you experience your intuition the strongest, you may experience mental pictures, flashes of an image, symbolic visions, vivid dreams, seeing energies, colors, or auras, or seeing potential futures of different timelines. They tend to be highly visual, imaginative, and symbolic. Then there is claircognizant, which is clear knowing. This is my strongest intuition sense. This is the intuition that arrives as an instant knowing with no logical source. You may experience knowing something without knowing how you know it, downloads of information, strong certainty, ideas that pop into your head fully formed, insights that become evidence. And they often say, I just know. I say that a lot. And this is a common form of psychic intuition. Then there is clairsentient, which is clear feeling. This is intuition that comes through the body and emotions. You may feel energy in the body, hits or sensations, goosebumps and chills, tightness or expansion in your gut, emotional energy that's not yours, guidance through physical senses. These people are sensitive, empathetic, and deeply attuned to emotional energy. I would say this is my second strongest intuition sense. Clairaudience is clear hearing. S is intuitive information through sound or internal healing. You may receive words, phrases, or messages internally, a voice that sounds like your own but isn't your thoughts, hearing tones or frequencies or ringing, music or lyrics that will pop up in your life that are meaningful, and guidance that sounds like a whisper of insight. They're often very sensitive to sound and have strong communication gifts. Clairalience is clear smelling. This is intuitive information through sense with no physical source. You may smell perfume of a past loved one, flowers during a meditation, smoke, earth, or specific scents tied to intuitive messages. And so, say every time that you are in the right place at the right time, you smell a certain smell. Or I have this experience only with my grandmother that passed away. Whenever her presence is really strong around me, I always smell her. Then there's clairgustance, which is clear tasting. This is intuition through taste without eating anything. You may taste like a specific flavor linked to a memory or a message, metallic taste during an energy shift, or taste something symbolic. This clair is rare, but it does exist. I've only ever experienced this when I was practicing my mediumship. If a spirit came forward and was trying to identify themselves to me of who it would be for that person, maybe it was a grandmother who always baked buns, and you smell and taste that fresh baked buns, and that's one of the clues that you get to see like who it is. So I would say that the clairalience and clairgustance are pretty closely related because our smell and taste are so closely linked together in our senses. So that is all the clairs, and just a way that we use our intuition. So we actually have all of these clairs, but we will all have some that are stronger than others. You can practice and make them all stronger. I'm somebody who's not visual. I never get visions. I don't really get visions when I do ayahuasca. I say I get visions, but to me, it's not seeing something like I'm watching a movie on a screen. It's a feeling and a sense and I just know. It's like I'm being told a story and I'm not watching it as a movie. It's like I'm listening to a podcast almost. Although it's not necessarily a voice talking to me, it's more just like somebody stuck my brain is a computer and somebody stuck a chip in it. And it was like, okay, I have all that information. Okay, moving on to the next core theme is imagination and visualization. So, visualization is a powerful practice that helps us to manifest, to be able to picture exactly what it is that we want. And this doesn't have to just be seeing in your mind's eye. You can use all of your senses to make this more real for the experience when you're trying to manifest and visualize something. Your brain does not know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So, you can alter your entire reality by imagining what you want to happen. So, if there's something, say tomorrow, you're going to make a speech in front of people, you can visualize how you want that to go, what you're going to see, how you're going to feel, like the emotions that you're going to experience in that experience. And people like professional sports players or people who do public speaking, artists, there's a whole bunch of different professions where they actually practice visualization for the outcome that they want to happen, and it helps them to be in that exact, when you're in that exact energy, the end goal energy of what you want to happen. When you can embody that before you're even going into that experience, you're going to essentially like predict the outcome that is going to happen. Whereas if you're scared and you don't want to do it and you are down on yourself, you're way more likely to fail. So use your imagination, your visualization to create this world in where everything works out for you. And I mean, can be disappointed if things don't always work out, because sometimes we imagine things that we want and it turns out to not be what we need. And usually what we get ends up being different, but maybe better or more actually aligned with what we needed to get to where we're supposed to go. And I really see our imagination as a gift from God, and it helps us to see and believe in more than just the physical world. It is our communication, our like bridge between the physical and not physical world, spiritual world, metaphysical world, whatever you want to call it, all different layers of existence. We get to experience them because of our imagination and because of our intuition, and it's a gift. And again, like we have such a big imagination when we're kids, and we lose that going into adulthood because of all the conditioning, because of all the beliefs and things that we take on, that we lose that connection from it, but it is always there and we can always get it back. The next core theme is discernment. This is being able to recognize who and what are in alignment with us, with you, with me. It helps us to see through illusions and to tell us what is actually the truth or what is in alignment with our truth, okay? Truth is subjective and everybody has their own truth of what's true for them. And if you were in their frequency, in their reality, that would be true. But what's true for another doesn't have to be true for you. This comes from our morals and our values and what is important to us and the life that we want to live or we feel called to live. What I feel called to do might be totally different from what you feel called to do. And that is what makes it like your truth or my truth. There is such thing as objective truth of things that are objectively true, like trees grow from the ground, but there is subjective truth between each of us, and it causes a lot of conflict in our life because you can be arguing with somebody like, this is black, no, it's white, and from where they're standing it's white, and from where you're standing it's black, and you have to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes to be able to sometimes see the whole picture of things. However, we can use discernment to help us find who and what are in alignment. So the person that's arguing with you that it's white when it's black, maybe you want to find somebody who also sees black. I mean, to be fair, everything in the argument of black and white, pretty much everything is gray. It's never really black or white. But if you can understand what I'm saying, it's like you don't want to say you're trying to manifest a life partner. You're not going to end up with somebody who's always telling you it's white when to you it's black. So you want to find somebody who is in alignment with that energy so that you can agree on that it's black. And it also protects your energy by helping you know who and what truly deserves your attention, because especially because we live in this world and this time where our attention is being drawn every which direction. Our social media, the 8 different kinds of social media, the TV, the media, our computers, our phones, whatever, it's constantly something is out there trying to pull our attention. This friend wants to hang out with this family member, this friend, whatever. All of a sudden you feel dizzy because your attention is just being pulled everywhere. You feel so drained. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's the right decision. But when you're connected to this and you have the discernment of knowing, like, no, I need to stay home today and relax. So I'm going to say no to hanging out with my friend or whatever. Or like, I'm not going to go on a date with this person because their values are not in line with mine. Things like that. Okay, the next core theme is clarity and insight. This is those aha moments in your life that brings you that deeper understanding, those moments when there's like a flip of a switch, a click in your brain, and you're like, oh, I get it. Okay, we have a lot more of those moments when we are connected with this third eye chakra. When your third eye chakra is open, everything in your life just starts to make sense in a bigger picture, more clear way. And you can start to easily see the path that is being laid out in front of you to walk this certain path that you feel called to walk. And as you're walking this path, you're going to have more of those aha moments, even when you look back in your life and you're reflecting on like certain decisions that you made or things that happened in your life in the past that maybe you didn't understand at the time or whatever that was, and you look back and you're like, oh, that taught me this, which led me here. Like, that makes so much sense now. And the clarity is just there. The next core theme is the connection to your inner truth. So, our bodies are essentially like a radio, and there are an infinite amount of different frequencies in which we can tune into. And when we know our inner truth and develop that deeper relationship with ourselves and with the understanding of our energy, then we can learn to tune that radio station, to tune your radio to a different station, to the frequency that you desire, and you can become very aware of everything that is then connected to that frequency. And once you tap into a different frequency, anything that's not in your frequency will kind of just naturally fall away because they can't resonate with that vibration that you're in. And when you can connect to and know your inner truth, you know your path, you know your values, you know your morals, you know what it is you desire in this life, what it is that you want to do, and you're so confident in that, you're just like zoned in to that frequency, and then opportunities and people and all these things that are in alignment with you walking that path just start to show up in your life without any explanation, and you're like, wow, that was cool. A lot of synchronicities. So that's a sign that you are having this deep connection to your inner truth and walking that path. And the last core theme I'm going to go over is higher perspective. So, this is our ability to essentially zoom out and see our life or even different situations, relationships that we have from essentially a bird's eye view. It's the ability to look at the bigger picture of our lives, relationships, patterns we have, life experiences, whatever it is. When we can zoom out and we're almost looking at ourselves from above in a situation, it gives us the higher perspective. It allows us to understand, every side of the story. It allows us to be less like me, and more like, oh, collective and everybody involved, and practicing that forgiveness and understanding from other people's perspectives helps you to see, understand, and learn things from a soul level rather than acting emotionally, like feeling personally attacked. Because again, when you have that connection to, your higher truth, your soul, whatever, and you are in that alignment and you take a step and maybe you're reflecting, looking back at the past, you can see, like, oh, right, that's why that happened. It taught me this. My trip I'm on right now has been showing me so many things. Like, I've wanted to come here forever, for as long as I can remember. I wanted to come to Bali before I even went to Australia. And the timing just never lined up. And now it was like this path just unfolded in front of me. I was like, I want to go. And it was like everything was so easy for me to get here. It was like unexplicable. And now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, this is why I didn't get to come until now. Because if I came here in 2020 when I was 21 years old, I would have been here and I would have been in a different Bali. I would have been in Party City. I would have been wanting to do all these things. But here I am living in the spiritual town, taking all these different classes, learning different things, and really like affirming this path that I'm walking on. I wasn't ready back then. And I think that's why it never worked out. It seemed so unattainable, like it was so far away. And then all of a sudden I blinked and I'm here. So I just think that it's just so cool when you can do that. Okay, balancing the third eye chakra. We want to create balance in our third eye chakra so that we can see beyond the physical world and we can deepen our relationship with our intuition and learn to trust our inner guidance. So, if your third eye chakra is balanced, you will trust your intuition and inner guidance. You can see the higher meaning and lessons and things. You experience mental clarity and insights. You feel connected to your inner voice. You interpret signs and synchronicities effortlessly. You trust your visions, dreams, and gut feelings. You hold a balanced blend of logic and intuition. You can zoom out and see the bigger picture. And a balanced third eye brings us a deep inner knowing and the sense of that we are being guided, that connection with God, with your angels, with your guides, with whatever beings or entities or whatever you feel connected to. They're there to give you signs that you're on the right path and you can follow that with ease. If your third eye chakra is blocked, you are feeling disconnected from your intuition, overthinking things, have a hard time making decisions, lack of clarity in what it is you need to do or the path you're meant to walk on, feeling stuck in logic and doubt, closed mindedness, difficulty imagining or visualizing, repeating patterns without seeing the lessons, and feeling spiritually disconnected. If your third eye chakra is overactive, you're spending too much time in the spiritual realm, not being grounded, fantasizing or escaping reality, hallucinations like imagination, difficulty distinguishing between intuition and fear, and anxiety from overstimulation. So, when we're working in these higher chakras, it becomes more and more important to ground ourselves, which is why we learn the chakras from the bottom up, because those lower chakras are important for the human experience. And now we're more in the woo-woo spiritual energy, but if you have all your stimulation in your third eye or your crown chakra, which we'll talk about next week, and you're not grounded, it can be super dangerous and scary. You can have things like mental illness and things as well that can come because you're so detached from your physical reality that you're almost making like this whole new reality. And it cannot be good. So you need to have a balance of both the connection to what's more, but also being connected to your physical human experience that you're meant to be having right now as well. So, some ways that you can balance the third eye chakra: meditation, especially visualizations, spending time in silence, journaling, especially on intuitive hits or dreams that you've had. Dream journaling is super powerful, and there are so many hidden messages and synchronicities in dreams. So, if you wake up and you're like, whoa, that was a crazy dream, go on your computer, ask ChatGPT, Google, whatever. Like, I had a dream about blah, 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 and it will give you like at least some notes of like themes of the dream, because sometimes it's like totally weird. You're like, I once had this really weird dream about ice cream and I looked it up and I was like, I would not have known that that's what it meant. So I once spent a whole summer journaling, doing a dream journal. Like every morning I'd wake up and I'd write what my dream was about and like look it up, and it was so cool. Trusting your first instinct, because that's what intuition is. It's just like there. It's just like, oh, okay. And if you don't have that confidence with that relationship with your intuition, you're going to second guess your instincts. You're going to think like, oh no, there's no, like, oh, and then you get in your head and you lose that. So just learning to trust your first instinct is really powerful, and it can help you balance your third eye chakra. Limiting overstimulation, so screen, noise, chaos, take time in silence, take a break, have a social media detox, days where you do just nothing. That's important too. Practicing breath work, quiet walks in nature. Oh, nature, here we go again. No surprise there. It helps us with literally everything. Spend time outside. Purple, wearing the color purple or indigo, and that kind of color therapy. So if you feel called to that color, there's a sign maybe you need it. Activating the pineal gland, and so that is your third eye, but you can do this through sunrise and sunset light exposure. So essentially, it's like balancing your circadian rhythm, right? You want to get the sunrise light in your eyes in the morning and the sunset light in your eyes at night to help you know when it's time to be awake and asleep. Reducing fluoride and toxins that affect the pineal gland. So don't drink tap water, because most all tap water has fluoride put in it. And also watch your toothpaste, is two really common ways that we intake fluoride. And fluoride actually calcifies the pineal gland and stops it from working properly. It makes it harder to work that muscle. I believe you can like stop taking fluoride and fix that problem. But it's not a surprise to me that there's a lot of people who probably have a calcified pineal gland and aren't having these experiences and don't have this connection with their intuition. Guided intuitive exercises, things like tarot cards or on oracle cards or pendulums, things where you learn to play with energy like that and trust what's coming, the messages that are coming. Some foods you can eat is garlic, raw cacao, goji berries, watermelon, coconut oil, honey, plums, or purple potatoes. Some crystals could be quartz, tiger's eye, fluorite, amethyst, uh, blue lace agate, and calcite. Essential oils, frankincense, sandalwood, lavender, and rosemary. And yoga poses like child's pose, puppy pose, laying on your back with your legs of the wall, lizard pose, down dog, half lotus are some yoga poses that you can do. Okay, we're going to jump into the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well being aspects of the third eye. So, our third eye influences physical aspects related to our vision, brain function, and overall neurological health. Our vision and eyesight, it supports our healthy sight both physically and metaphorically, allowing you to see the truth in situations and understand deeper meanings. Your head and brain function influences your pineal gland, which regulates sleep and circadian rhythm, supports your brain functions, improving mental sharpness and cognitive abilities. And your sinus and upper respiratory health, it helps alleviate sinus issues, headaches, or migraines, which are common physical signs of an imbalanced third eye, and promotes overall balance in the head and upper body. So think about how many different things can go wrong with your brain, how many glands and important things are in our brain. our eyes, like a lot of our senses, right? Smelling, hearing, tasting, all of that comes from our face. And it has a lot to do, like our intuition is all of our senses as well. Our sixth sense is like a deeper connection to all of our senses. So keep that in mind. For our mental well being, the third eye chakra influences mental patterns related to intuition, perception, and clarity of thought. Intuitive thinking promotes clarity of thought, allowing you to think with greater insight and discernment, and aids in your ability to trust your inner wisdom. Mental clarity and focus facilitates sharpness and thought, enhancing your ability to focus and concentrate, reduces mental fog, allowing for better decision making and understanding of complex situations. Perception beyond the surface enhances your ability to see beyond the obvious and perceive deeper truths, encourages the ability to recognize patterns and understand situations from a broader perspective, leading to a more informed and thoughtful decision. For our emotional well being, the third eye chakra plays a key role in emotional awareness, clarity, and mental peace. For emotional clarity, it enhances your ability to see emotions clearly both within yourself and others. It encourages self awareness to help you process your feelings with insights, reducing confusion and emotional turbulence. Letting go of fear helps us to release fear based emotions, especially from those that cloud our judgment and prevent us from seeing things as they are. Supports embracing confidence and trust in your intuitive abilities. And emotional balance. It brings emotional equilibrium by promoting the awareness of deeper emotional truths, encourages acceptance of all emotions without being overwhelmed by them. For our spiritual well being, the third eye chakra is often considered the center of spiritual awakening, intuition, and connection to the higher consciousness. Spiritual insights and awakening, the third eye chakra facilitates access to higher levels of spiritual consciousness, encouraging self realization and connection to your soul's purpose. Supports a deeper understanding of the mysteries of the universe and your place in it. Intuitive and divine guidance enhances our abilities to receive divine guidance and spiritual insights through dreams, visions, and inner knowings, promotes psychic abilities, including the clairs, and helping you trust your intuition and inner wisdom. Inner peace and connection to the divine is a balanced third eye helps you to connect to spiritual truths, fostering peace, wisdom, and trust in the divine, encouraging and seeing life from a higher perspective, and offering clarity and spiritual growth. So, some journal prompts that you can journal on to connect with and deepen your relationship with this third eye chakra. Number 1, where do I feel my intuition trying to speak to me? What signs or synchronicities have been showing up for me lately? What truth am I refusing to see? How can I trust my inner wisdom more deeply? What vision do I hold for my higher self? And where do I confuse fear with intuition? When you're doing visualization practices, which is super powerful for this chakra, especially, using the color indigo in your third eye space, right? Each chakra has a color, and you can do body scans and check in with each energy. So in this place, you want to visualize the indigo color in your third eye space and see, is it closed? Is it open? Is it too big? Is it too small? Is it dull? Is it bright? What does that energy appear to you? How does it feel? And trust those intuitive instincts, because it's probably telling you the truth. Okay, that is everything for the third eye chakra. I love this chakra. I love all that it represents. I think there are a lot of people that have a lot of blocks in this chakra with this energy, just because it is a part of life that we're not taught from a young age all the way through to adulthood. Maybe you were lucky enough to grow up in a family who took intuition and things very seriously, and you were that part of your soul, your journey, your body, your connection was nourished. But for most of us, for most of the world, it's not. It was kind of taken from us, and we need to reclaim our power. We need to reclaim our connection. And intuition is so cool. And the more you work on it, the bigger and stronger that muscle gets, the more clear it is, the faster it is, the more you trust it and don't have to question if that is what it was. And it can just be so, so powerful. It's literally like giving yourself superpowers. So I highly, highly, highly recommend starting to develop your relationship with this energy, with this chakra, with these gifts that each and every one of you have. If it's something you already do, great, awesome, amazing. I love that for you, but keep working at it and keep deepening it, because it can just continue and continue to grow and expand. But if you're doing a lot of work with this energy, make sure you are grounding yourself, that you have grounding practices, that you're still in this physical reality, enjoying what it means to be a human, but just with a side of spiritual superpowers. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in today. I love each and every one of you. I can't wait to do the crown chakra, which is the last chakra in this series, and I can't believe we're almost there. So, thanks so much for being here, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.